Bruce Thompson for BT Pilates, rhomboid muscle stretch and massage. Rhomboid muscle is a stabilizer muscle. It braces the shoulder so that you can move your hand and arm with a stable base. So rhomboid muscle is a stabilizer muscle, which means most of the time it's contracting with very little movement. This makes for a muscle that can develop trigger points or knots and tight bands. And further, the tight bands, when they insert on the inside border of the shoulder blade, can be quite problematic and quite painful. The time that you're most likely to notice a rhomboid problem is when you do a sharp, sudden lengthening of your rhomboid muscle, as when, for example, your arm goes forward very quickly and the shoulder blade goes with it, and it pulls the shoulder blade away from the spine. That's a rapid lengthening of your rhomboid. It could cause a rhomboid strain, especially in the tight bands in the muscle. Another more subtle thing is you might have some grumpy pain in there. It just feeds into other problems around the back of the shoulder in terms of aching. A subtle problem with the tight rhomboid is that supposing you're holding your arm forward to play a violin or a classical guitar, maybe your arm can't quite come forward because the muscle's tight, to give you that little bit of extra reach to curl around the fingerboard of the guitar or violin. So we need a number of strategies to make it comfortable to get the knots and tight bands out of this muscle. Stretching, immobilization, eccentric contraction, and of course massage. Any one of those is going to help, but I'm just going to put this into a sequence that you could use on a daily basis, perhaps 2 minutes a day, to massage and maintain your rhomboidius. We'd hope after 2 minutes a day for 2 or 3 weeks, you'd have a lot more mobility there and a little bit more control, and the muscles just feeling freer and easier, and you'd be surprised how much your control and coordination is working through your arms and hands. So the first thing we can do is just show you a stretch. We're going to work this left rhomboid. Just pull the arm forward. You can see that's pulling the shoulder forward, which is pulling the shoulder blade away from the spine. And mobilize. Again, it's just, there you go. Just moving it forward and back. You round your back, bend your knees a little, you might find that's just a little easier. Eccentric contraction. That's when we load a muscle and then smoothly lengthen it under load. If we bend our knees a little bit, grab hold of a door jamb, in this case we just got a pillar in the wall, and just bend our knees, round our back. Load the muscle by pushing away with this other hand. Push, and then lean back and look over the shoulder. Pull in, push away, stretching, and pull in. Push away, and pull in. Push away, stretching, and pull in. And then finally, once we've done that eccentric contraction, by the way, I really feel that, so it's probably going to be good. So the muscle's warmed up now, we can do some massage. I've got a number of balls we can use. We have a soft ball, which is quite a grippy ball, it won't slide on the wall. We've got a firmer lacrosse ball. That could be quite tough, pushing into sharp knots and things. We've got a bigger ball, expanded polypropylene ball. That might be quite nice. I'm going to go for the softer ball first. Just place the ball on the inside of the shoulder blade. Bend the knees. Engage the wall. Now to bring the tight bands in the muscle up to the ball, just pull the elbow forward. And rolling side to side along the length of the tight bands. I can stop on any knots, quite painful knots. I can roll over the tight bands by going up and down. And just if I find a spot, I could look to the shoulder and pull a little harder, and just a little bit of rocking action. And of course, I can try different balls. By the way, that ball seemed ideal. This hard one, just pull it in, inside of shoulder blade, between the shoulder blade and the spine. Bend the knees, get the hips forward, elbow forward. Ow, that's a little sharp. That's a little too much for me now, but perhaps when the pain is less in 3 weeks' time, I might be keen to try that. Bigger ball, Let's see what this is like. Bend my knees, hips forward, pull the shoulder forward. Yeah, that's all right too. Initially it's quite painful, but after a few days the sharpness and the pain will reduce, and you'll be beginning to feel like you've got more control and stability and coordination out of your shoulder, so that you can start doing fine detailed work with a little bit more control and coordination. This is Bruce Thompson for BT Pilates, Rhomboid stretch and massage.